And a clear example, a recent example, is what is happening with Governor Seyi Makinde, who in a poverty-stricken country or state like Nigeria, who wants to spend 63 billion to renovate a government house which has not gone through a fire incident, has not gone through a thunderstorm, has not gone through any physical destruction. And then you have the House of Assembly approving of it, not seeing anything wrong. That money, you know what it can mean to funding education, to funding infrastructure, to funding roads, to bringing about poverty eradication and so on. Afẹ́ sin ara dúpẹ́ pẹ̀lú òye tí Ọlọ́run ti fún wa náà tó sì yẹ kí kì í ṣe gbogbo èèyàn irú mi mélòó ló ti nírú experience tí mo ní politics irú ẹ̀ pàápàá yìí lọ lọ́dọ̀ bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ irú bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ mélòó ló sì wà Nàìjíríà so òye tá a níyẹn là wá fẹ́ lò ní èyí tó ń ṣe èyí tá a rí la rí èyí tá a rí náà la rí. So ti àìmọye yìí tá a rí kò bá làákàyè mu láti sọ.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ renovation tẹ̀ sọ́nsìn.
Kò bá làákàyè mu.
Ṣùgbọ́n tẹ bá kàn ní kẹ́ wo gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé generally.
Ṣé rí òun ṣòwò
ní sórí wọn.
Òun ṣòwò ní Ṣèyí Mákindé.
Oníṣòwò
business lọ bá dídì ó ṣèlú.
Owó náà ló wá ń ṣe báyìí.
Owó ni mo rò pé owó náà ló ń ṣe ọlọ́pàá àìsí kó yẹ kó ṣé ẹni ọba hu ìwà tí ò bá làákàyè mu tó sì yẹ kó mọ̀ òun lè jẹ́ òde rẹ níbí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa láàárẹ̀ níbí wa irú èmi ń sìn pé mo ti ẹ̀jọ́ ká ọ̀mọ̀wé ní ìsìn mo di lọ́ọ̀yà àánú Ọlọ́run nìkan ni tá a bá dẹ̀ wo ẹ̀ẹ̀kan tí olóògbé Àkàlà tó wá láti Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ Ìbàdàn gbáyé gbá wọn ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbádùn gbàna torí kò sẹ́ni tí ó wà látẹ̀yìn ẹ̀yìn odi Ìbàdàn tí ó rí Ìbàdàn fi bí wọ́n bá ti ń gbádùn níbi tóun ti wá Ìbàdàn ní ọmọ gbádùn torí kò ní fọwọ́ kò ní ṣe kankan tí ó bí Ìbàdàn ni ó sì máa tọ́jú Ìbàdàn ni ó sì ṣe é báwí. A ti rí àwọn gọ́fìnà míì tí wọ́n wá láti Ìbàdàn yìí tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n dé ọba sí gbogbo èèyàn ní lórí kò sí tí wọ́n lè sọ sí anybody.
Àbí àwọn gọ́fìnà wo nìyẹn.
Ìwọ náà mọ̀ wọ́n. Anyway àwọn ará ilé tí wọ́n gbọ́rọ̀ wọ́n gbọ́ ohun táwọn.
Wọ́n ti máa ń tàn sá wọ́n ti máa ń tàn sá.
Sódìyé tẹ́ ẹ bá bi àwọn èèyàn tó yí Ṣèyí Mákindé tó yí wọ́n sọ fún pé àwọn mọ̀ pé APC ni ó win ní ìbò tí ń bọ̀.
Pé àwọn mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Wọ́n sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Ṣèyí Mákindé náà mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ àbí.
Ó gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀.
Ó gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ báwo.
Ó mọ̀ ntàmọ̀ tó yí ká fi ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣé ìbájẹ́.
Mákindé wàá gbé fún ẹgbẹ́ mi.
Ẹ máa ẹja máa wò bọ̀.
Ká máa wò bọ̀.
Pẹ̀lú ògbọ́lọ́.
Kódà torí kí n tún wá sọ báyìí náà torí inú ẹgbẹ́ yín náà à ń gbá àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan o. Minister of Power. Adébáyọ̀ Adélabú òun náà sọ pé nǹkan kan tó lè ensure tàbí guarantee victory ó ní unity APC ṣé kìí ṣe bó ti rí pé bódà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé ẹ̀yin APC gan
kò ṣe rí
ẹ̀jọ̀ wà lójú kan
àjọ wà.
Thank you very much once again for joining us on the Voice of the Light Studios. This is The Cross, where we bring personalities to discuss the critical issues in the polity, robust engagement, robust interviews that will definitely touch different areas. Okay, today our guest is a lawyer, is an astute politician, is a philanthropist, is a man of parts. Okay, but let me quickly go back to where he started. Of course, he's still definitely going to delve more into that, but talk about his education. He graduated from the Obafemi Awolowo University,
that is
Obawon University. Okay, but then it was known as the University of Ile-Ife, Unife. Then, And of course, he worked as a lawyer, but many will know him more now as a politician. He once served as the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy. And right now, he's the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman Governing Council of the Umai Federal University of Health Sciences. My guest today is a barrister Adebayo Shittu. Okay, so now let's look at for the fact that you've been in politics since 1978, actively, and you look at our democracy in Nigeria, how it has grown. Yes, we had very many years of military rule. We came back 1999. And since then, we've had 25 years of uninterrupted democracy. Of course, you saw Awolowo.
Yes.
You saw Awolowo, you saw them, you knew his mind, his vision for Nigeria. Do you think that we're on the right path?
Well, democracy is a process, is a system which we try to imbibe. Unfortunately, the problem is not in our stars, but in ourselves. The House of Assembly then commenced work on the 2nd of October, 1979. A week after, the then Governor Bolage sent a letter, a one-page letter, to the Speaker. He said, "Dear Mr. Speaker, please get the House to approve the following names as commissioners." No CV of any of them attached, no resume, nothing. As a fresh brain from the law school, I thought it was not proper.
It was wrong.
I thought we deserved to have full information about each and every one of the nominees. And I remembered the principles of separation of powers, that were not to be a rubber stamp assembly and all of that. So when the letter was read to the House, I raised my hand. And I started, itemizing the principles required of a House which deserved the name of a legislature. It was shocking. It became a big shock to almost everybody in the House of Assembly then, that a young rat in the House, who was also a member of the
UPA
party,
I was going to
would stand up and criticize what the leader, the governor, had done. So after all my Dogon Turenchi, as Hausas would call it, Mr. Speaker said, "As the Speaker, I overrule. Those in favor say aye, those not in favor, the ayes have it." And that was how it was passed. And the system has not changed.
I was going to ask you since 19.
It has not changed. So the problem is with us. A lot of time, with due respect, people who go into the House really don't have any vision of themselves making any contributions. No, unfortunately. People just go there like people looking for a job. Once you get a job, you're happy that you have something to live by, to live on. And then all the principles, you are ignorant of them, unfortunately. So it's not in our stars. The problem is with us, the quality of people who go into the various houses of assembly, and then the nature of our party system. If you are in a political party, you want to get nomination for anything, you have to get the support of the leader. In the House of Assembly, in fact, it is the governor more often than not who dictates who will be the speaker, who will be the majority leader, who will be this and that. So when they have the support or the backing of a governor who is called the leader of the party, they find it difficult to really, play to the rules of democracy. It's very unfortunate, but that is the situation. So a lot of virtually everything that the governor pushes to the House of Assembly is taken. And a clear example, a recent example, is what is happening with Governor Seyi Makinde, who in a poverty-stricken country or state like Nigeria, who wants to spend 63 billion to renovate a government house which has not gone through a fire incident, has not gone through a thunderstorm, has not gone through any physical destruction. And then you have the House of Assembly approving of it, not seeing anything wrong. That money, you know what it can mean to funding education, to funding infrastructure, to funding roads, to bringing about poverty eradication and so on. Bóyá ṣe tọ́ọ̀gì ló ṣe fẹ́ gbẹ́ níjọ́sí. Àbí wọ́n á lọ ṣiṣẹ́ fẹ́ gbẹ́. So automatically.
ṣàyẹ̀wò wò pé lásìkò tá a wà yìí kò ń ṣe nǹkan tí gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé yẹ kí wọ́n dá wọlé ní. kò yẹ àrùn ojú ni kì í sáwọn mú. owó yẹn ti pọ̀ jù àbí.
èèyàn mélòó ni ló ń jẹun ló ń jí tó ń ro jẹjẹ nílùú yìí èèyàn mélòó ló níṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ kò bá làákàyè mu. kò bá làákàyè mu. Ó yẹ kí priority wà. Desperate situations ló yẹ ká kọ́ attend sí. Desperate situations. I am sure bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wà yìí ẹ níye èèyàn tí ó máa ń send text yín lára ní ojú pé àwọn ò tí jẹun láàárọ̀ àwọn ò tí ṣègbà àwọn ò tí ṣàwọn. So ẹ wá imagine ti rú wa tá a jẹ́ pé tá a yọjú sóṣèlú wọ́n ti rò pé ní ọba ti jẹ́ mínísítà ni ó ti jí owó kó wọn ò ní mọ̀ pé kì í ṣe gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà ló lè. Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́. Ikú ọ̀dájọ́ àrùn òdòsùn bẹ́ẹ̀ bá jáde lónìí tó kú lọ́la tí ò tí ì rí owó yẹn gan-an ọ̀tọ̀ làwọn tí ò lọ gbádùn owó yẹn òun ní ọ̀dọ̀ jábọ̀ rẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ lọ.
kọ́tẹ́ yìí sọ ní báyìí ni pé gẹ́gẹ́ bí olóṣèlú ẹ̀yin fẹ́ sin aráàlú ní àdúgbò bàtẹ́ tí ń ṣe
a fẹ́ sin aráàlú pẹ̀lú òye tí Ọlọ́run ti fún àná tó sì yẹ kí kì í ṣe gbogbo èèyàn irú mi mélòó ló ti nírú experience tí mo ní politics irú ẹ̀ pàápàá yìí lọ lọ́dọ̀ bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ irú bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ mélòó ló sì wà Nàìjíríà so òye tá a níyẹn là wá fẹ́ lò.
àwọn nǹkan kan tó jẹ́ pé mo rò bóyá bàbá ṣe ń bára ẹ lọ la máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ ò ní pé experience tẹ̀yìn ti ní ẹ ti ń bàbọ̀ látàrí Awólọ́wọ̀ ẹ ti ń bá Awólọ́wọ̀ ilé táwọn olóyìnbó ń pè ní in person.
Exactly.
torí àti ń gbọ́ náà àti ń gbọ́ àti ń kà náà yìí pé ó sì wù yín láti ṣe gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
àwa ní ká béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín ẹni tó ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ nísìn ká lè gbàgbé táàmù tí wọ́n máa parí. bọ́n tó dàbí ẹni pé tẹ bá wù gbòòrò náà àwọn aráàlú ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ó dàbí pé wọ́n ń sọ ohun tó dà náà nípa wọn ṣùgbọ́n mi wàá mójú tẹ̀yìn fi rí.
wẹ́ẹ̀ ṣẹ́ra wa àwọn òjò bẹ́ẹ̀ nìkan sọ tálà wa so ti yẹ téèyàn bá ń ṣe dáadáa support ṣe dáadáa but a ní ìfẹ́ sí ìgbáyégbádùn aráàlú àyà ẹ̀ ní èyí tó ń ṣe èyí tá a rí la rí èyí tá a rí náà la rí so ti yẹ àìmọye èyí tá a rí kò bá làákàyè mu láti sọ.
gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ renovation tẹ̀ sọ́nsìn.
kò bá làákàyè mu.
ṣùgbọ́n tẹ bá kàn ní kẹ́ wo gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé generally
ṣẹ́rí òun ṣòwò ní
gbé sórí wọn.
òun ṣòwò ní Ṣèyí Mákindé.
oníṣòwò
bísínẹ́sì lọ bá dídì òṣèlú.
owó náà ló wá ń ṣe báyìí.
owó ni mo rò pé owó náà ló ń ṣe ọlọ́pàá àìsí kó yẹ kó ṣé ẹni ọba hu ìwà tí ò bá láka ìwọ̀n tó sì yẹ kó mọ̀ òun lè jẹ́ òde rẹ níbí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa láàrẹ níbí wa irú èmi ń sìn pé mo ti ẹ̀jọ́ ká ọ̀mọ̀wé ní ìsìn mo di lọ́ọ̀yà àánú Ọlọ́run nìkan ni gbádùn omi pé kò ní í ṣe bí ń lù tí ọba ṣébi ń lù kò ní sí àníṣe lọ́wọ́ àìríṣe nílùú àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ so èmi kàn rí i pé ó ń ṣòwò.
kódà ẹ sọ́ngbà kan nínú ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ kan pé ẹ sọ nípa marginalization ẹ sọ wípé power rotation
bẹ́ẹ̀ni
ó máa end marginalization bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe sọ nìyẹn lédè òyìnbó mo mọ̀ pé ẹ̀ ń sọ bí ẹni pé ọ̀rọ̀ gómìnà kò tí ì wá sí.
sẹ́rí ká fi gbogbo ẹ̀gbéra wọn ní nàìjíríà haúsá ló ti máa ń ṣe president haúsá ní sábà torí pé wọ́n pọ̀ àwa yorùbá wa bẹ̀ wọ́n pé àjọjì òdùn bẹ́ẹ̀ nìkan ní yorùbá wí ẹ ti ṣe nǹkan yìí ó ti pẹ́ adẹ̀ support ẹ gbà wá láàyè kí ọmọ yorùbá náà ṣe president wọ́n sì lò làákàyè wọ́n gbà wọ́n dẹ̀ support àgbọn àwọn gọ́fìnà wọn ń gbà náà ló support Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ní Tinubu fi di president tí wọn ò bá support ẹ̀ ń gbà náà ó ṣeéṣe kán tún di president ṣùgbọ́n àlàáfíà tó wà ń dùn nísìnyí ò ní sí àyè mistrust yóò wà láàrin ìran sí ìran but nísìnyí àwọn náà ń gbádùn ìgbádùn wà fún wọn òun kàlùkù political stability wà so n ta sọ bí náà ni pé ní Ọ̀yọ́ state náà Ìbàdàn ti ṣe gómìnà lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́fà lọ́dọ̀ wa wọ́n sábà
ní torí pé Ìbàdàn náà pọ̀ ní torí pé àwọn náà pọ̀ ní.
káwọ́ kò láìsí àná ni wọ́n pọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n pípọ̀ Ìbàdàn kì í sọmọ Ìbàdàn nìkan náà ló wà Ìbàdàn torí mo challenge ẹnìkan bẹ́ẹ̀ rí tó ní torí pé àwọn pọ̀ àwọn àlùmọ́nìyà ṣé ò lè fọ́ gbáyà pé gbogbo ẹni tó wà Ìbàdàn lọ́mọ bíbí Ìbàdàn a ní Yorùbá wọ́n ṣe onílàákà ní Yorùbá wọ́n ní àjọjì òdù bẹ́ẹ̀ nìkan ò ní tá a bá dẹ̀ wo ẹ̀ẹ̀kan tí olóògbé Àkàlà tó wá láti Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ Ìbàdàn gbáyé wọ́n ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbádùn gbà náà torí kò sẹ́ni tí ó wá látẹ̀yìn ẹ̀yìn odi Ìbàdàn tí ó rí Ìbàdàn fi bí wọ́n bá ti ń gbádùn níbi tóun ti wá Ìbàdàn ní ọmọ gbádùn torí kò ní fọwọ́ kò ní ṣe nǹkan kan tí ó bí Ìbàdàn ni ó sì máa tọ́jú Ìbàdàn ni ó sì ṣe é báwí a ti rí àwọn gọ́fìnà míì tí wọ́n wá láti Ìbàdàn yìí tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n dé ọba sí gbogbo èèyàn ní lórí kò sí tí wọ́n lè sọ sí anybody.
àbí àwọn gọ́fìnà wo nìyẹn.
ìwọ náà mọ̀ wọ́n. anyway àwọn ará ilé tí wọ́n gbọ́rọ̀ wọ́n gbọ́ ohun táwọn.
wọ́n ti mọ ẹni tá à ń sọ wọ́n ti mọ àwọn
sódìyé bá jẹ́ ti gbogbo wa tí ó bá jẹ́ pé ojú kan náà ló dúró sí ẹ̀mí táwọn èèyàn mọ̀ ní náà ni pé marginalization ṣẹlẹ̀ so perception yẹn gan an láti ṣe tá a fi mú kúrò.
ẹ jẹ́ ká wò báyìí ká tiẹ̀ tún mú kúrò ní ọ̀tọ̀rọ̀ marginalization ẹ ká tún wo ti ẹgbẹ́ yín ẹgbẹ́ APC lóyún ní ìbáyìí tilẹ̀ mọ́ PDP
ló ń ṣèjọba
àwọn ẹ̀dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé tí bó bá ń bọ̀ gómìnà tó bá wà ń bẹ̀.
tẹ́ ẹ bá bi àwọn èèyàn tó yí Seyi Makinde tó yí wọ́n sọ fún pé àwọn mọ̀ pé APC ni ó win ní ìbò tí ń bọ̀.
pé àwọn mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀.
wọ́n sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Seyi Makinde náà mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ àbí.
ó gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀
báwo.
ó mọ̀ ntàmọ̀ tó yí ká fi ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
sí ìbájẹ́ Makinde wà gbé fún ẹgbẹ́ mi.
ẹ máa ẹja máa wò bọ̀.
ká máa wò bọ̀.
kẹ́lú gọ́lọ́.
kódà torí kí n tún wá sọ báyìí náà torí inú ẹgbẹ́ yín náà à ń gbọ́ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan o Minister of Power Adébáyọ̀ Adélábù òun náà sọ pé nǹkan kan tó lè ensure tàbí guarantee victory ó ní unity APC ṣé kìí ṣe bó ti rí gbogbo dàbẹ̀ nípa ìyẹn APC gan
kò sẹ́rí
ẹ̀jọ̀ wà lójú kan
àjọ wà
fàsókè ni
òun náà òun là káyè ní Bọ́lá Ahmed
Tinubu ṣẹjọ ń sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí dáadáa.
òun ló lórí ìwà ọwọ́ sí nǹkan wọ̀.
torí tó bá ti níbi tó ń lọ lélẹ̀
ẹ má wọrí kì í ṣe gbogbo nǹkan láì máa sọ ní.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe sọ báyìí pé ẹ fẹ́ ṣe gómìnà báyìí ṣe ti sọ fún wa.
ó ti mọ̀ sí
kí wàá náà sọ.
kò ní ìdí kó sọ nǹkan kan nísìn.
ẹ máa wo body language wọn.
àwò ṣebí ọdún méjì máa kì í máa sọ̀la.
torí tó bá di pé kéèyàn má kà lọ máa.
ẹ má wọrí.
ẹ sì wo kébí àwọn kan náà ti ń bá Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ṣe.
èmi ẹgbẹ́ẹ́dọ́gbọ̀n yẹn bá a sọ whatever wọ́n rí wọn bá a sọ ọlọ́run ó bá a gáàdì Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu.
ẹ jẹ́ ká tún sáré mú eléyìí náà ká sáré mú ma nítorí pé ẹgbẹ́ yín lẹ sọ ẹ̀yin dẹ̀ ní ìdánilójú pẹ́gbẹ́ yín ni ó wọlé
Pẹ̀lú
ṣùgbọ́n
ògo
àwọn èèyàn míì náà wà ń gbòòrò náà àwọn ẹgbẹ́ mi àtàwọn míì tí ò sí inú ẹgbẹ́ mi ẹnìkan tó ní iléeṣẹ́ rédíò lẹ́njọ́ mẹ́ta àwọn èèyàn ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ náà nípa pé ó fẹ́ di gómìnà náà ní ìpínlẹ̀ wọn tiẹ̀ pé òun ni wọ́n sọ pé Ọ̀yọ́ ń pè ọ́ o àmọ́ oríṣiríṣi láti ń gbọ́ àwọn èèyàn wá ń sọ pé níbi tí ọkùnrin yìí popular dé
ọkùnrin wọ̀ nìyẹn
Oríyọmí Hamzat níbi tó popular dé ní Ọ̀yọ́ state yìí àbí ní Ìbàdàn pé Tinubu gan lè sọ kí n máa bọ̀ ní APC pé tó bá fi lè jáde
ó dìgbà náà nà
ẹnkọ́ náà kiri
ó dìgbà náà nà sẹ́
ẹnkọ́ náà yóò
àwò àṣẹrí ẹ̀ ń tẹ̀sán yẹn àbúrò mi ni bàbá ẹ̀ ọ̀rẹ́ mi ni
Ìbàdàn làwọn àbí
bàbá ẹ̀ ọ̀rẹ́ mi dáadáa ni bàbá tó bí
ẹ wá rò pé kò tí ì tó
kó àsìkò ní gbogbo nǹkan
àsìkò ẹ ò tí ì tó
kù díẹ̀
ó dà ẹ jẹ́ sáré sọ̀rọ̀ mi ó yàtọ̀ kúrò lọ́rọ̀ òṣèlú díẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣèlú náà ni ẹ rántí gbà tá a sọ̀rọ̀ Sharia panel ní South West mo dẹ̀ rántí pé àwọn èèyàn tó pọ̀ náà sọ̀rọ̀ pé irọ́ àwọn kan náà ní kò sí nǹkan kan nípa Sharia panel ẹ̀yin náà sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ngbà yẹn bí abí ignorance àbí nǹkan ló ṣàwọn èèyàn tó fi mo fẹ́ kẹ́ sáré tàn mọ́lẹ̀ sí.
ṣe rí Nàìjíríà a ní láti gbára wa bí òfin ṣe fàyè ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ Sharia ó wà ní constitution Nàìjíríà ó ní state tó bá wù wọ́n lè dá Sharia lẹ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yẹn ló máa ń behave bí ìgbọ́ jẹ́ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kò sí mùsùlùmí kankan nílẹ̀ Yorùbá so ti yé tẹ́ ẹ bá dẹ̀ wo Plateau ní gbogbo north ibẹ̀ ni Christians pọ̀ sí jù ní Plateau State bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Benue gbogbo àwọn state gbogbo ìlú tí wọ́n bá ti ní mùsùlùmí ń bẹ̀ ni wọ́n máa ń ní Sharia panels Abuja pàápàá tó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ federal capital tí ó jẹ́ pé ìran kan lè wọ́n lè mọ́ fọ́ gbáyà pé àwọn làwọn nílùú yìí Sharia wà ń bẹ̀ náà tí Sharia bá wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tí àwọn mùsùlùmí bá béèrè fún aburú wo ni ó ṣe fẹ́ni tí ì ṣe mùsùlùmí tí Sharia panel bá wà.
ẹ mọ̀ nǹkan tí bí a tí ò tí ì yá àwọn èèyàn tẹ máa bá wa tàn mọ́lẹ̀ sí ni pé ṣé ẹni tí ò wá ń ṣe mùsùlùmí náà wọ́n lè gbé wọn lọ síwájú Sharia.
ṣé ẹ ṣe bí gbogbo àná wà Nàìjíríà ṣé ẹ ti gbọ́ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ní any state ṣé ní Kano sí ò sáwọn gbàgbọ́ ní Kano àbí Sokoto ni ò sí gbàgbọ́ mọ́ àbí Maiduguri ni ò sí gbà ṣé ẹ gbọ́ pé wọ́n gbé onígbàgbọ́ kankan lọ sí Sharia panel ń bẹ̀.
ẹni tí ẹ̀sìn ẹ̀ tó rọ̀ mọ́.
ẹ mọ ẹsẹ rí logic lédè òyìnbó logic tó bá làákà mọ nìyí bí mùsùlùmí jẹ́ ọba ṣèyàwó mọ wọn ti ṣe
ní
lọ́dọ̀ àwọn afa wọn ó ṣèyàwó in accordance with Islamic law tí wọn bá tí divorce bá fẹ́ wáyé lọ́dọ̀ wọn ṣé customary court ló yẹ kí wọ́n lọ ṣe divorce tàbí bí ogún pínpín tàbí àwọn ọmọ inheritance nǹkan ṣé níbo ni wọ́n ti lọ ṣe ètò ogún pínpín fún mùsùlùmí tó kú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú Islam tí wọ́n sì ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú Islam tàbí àwọn tó ṣèyàwó tí wọ́n fẹ́ divorce so bàtà ẹ̀ka so sì wà fair pé àwọn mùsùlùmí méjì wọ́n sì gbéyàwó wọ́n á fẹ́ divorce ara wọn bí àwọn olóyìnbó tí wọ́n bá ṣe marriage under marriage act tí wọ́n bá divorce ara wọn court ni wọ́n lọ high court ni wọ́n lọ tí wọ́n bá pín ogún high court ni wọ́n ti lọ pín tí wọ́n bá sọ̀rọ̀ ta ni ó pín ọmọ ta ni ó gba ọmọ ta ni ó ṣe kíni high court náà wọ́n lọ àwọn tó bá jẹ́ pé wọ́n ṣe ìgbéyàwó wọn ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àṣà Yorùbá tí wọ́n bá divorce ara wọn customary court ni wọ́n lọ àwọn adájọ́ tó wà ní customary court wọn ò mọ nǹkan kan pa Sharia wọn ò mọ nǹkan kan pa marriage tí wọ́n fi ṣe ìgbéyàwó so báwo ni tẹ́ ẹ bá ń fẹ́ justice báwo ni kóòtù tí èsì Sharia ló ṣe fẹ́ ìpín ogún ló ṣe fẹ́ ṣe ìpínyà láàrin ọkọ àti ìyàwó àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. So it is a matter of making justice to everybody. Pé under òfin tó ń kálukú yín tẹ́ ẹ bá ṣe ìgbéyàwó náà ló yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ìdájọ́ bóyá ẹ fẹ́ divorce, ẹ fẹ́ pín inheritance, ẹ fẹ́ ṣe paternity àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. So it's so simple. In tí ò bá dẹ̀ affect anybody àti ní Plateau ni o àti ní Sokoto ni o àti níbikíbi àti ìgbọ́ at least in the last 100 years àti ìgbọ́ pé ìgbàgbọ́ kan nígbà tí ó ṣe tí nǹkan kan ṣe láàrin wọn á gbé lọ sí sẹ̀ríà tipátipá òfin Nàìjíríà ò gbà yẹn. So what is good for the goose is also good for the gander.
Okay, ẹ jẹ́ kúrò lórí yẹn ká tó di pé a máa sọ̀rọ̀ ti federal government tá a sọ̀rọ̀ national politics kí n tó kúrò lọ́yọ̀ state yìí mo fẹ́ padà sórí ọ̀rọ̀ gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ bó ṣe ń lọ gẹ́gẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ iná ṣe ti pick up gauntlet gbé yá ẹ̀yin náà fẹ́ jẹ́ àwọn èèyàn máa ń sọ kankan nípa yín ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ló máa ń sọ pé Barrister Adébáyọ̀ Shittu olórí pípé ó mọ̀wé ó ní wisdom experience oríṣiríṣi ṣùgbọ́n àwọn kan máa ní ṣó mọ̀ òṣèlú ṣe nítorí pé wọ́n máa ń believe pé lóòótọ́ ó ti wà pẹ̀lú Awólọ́wọ̀ ó ti pẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe sọ ṣùgbọ́n òṣèlú Nàìjíríà wàá fọ́nwó ni o wàá ṣoríṣiríṣi ni o àwọn wò pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ṣe ń lọ yìí kò rẹ́ kí o kò sí.
ṣe rí ẹjẹ sọ nǹkan fún yín ṣe rí èmi ò ní tẹ̀lé majority to do evil.
ṣé evil ni kí àwọn èèyàn fún àwọn èèyàn.
ń bọ̀ wá owó tí n bá ní mo máa ń bùn yẹn bí even outside politics. Nígbà mo wà ní minister àwọn tó fẹ́ ṣe masters mo fún scholarship fún masters ní UI mi àwọn mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dógún ni.
láti àpò ara yín.
látàpọ̀ ara mi. àwọn tó ń lọ law school àwọn 12 ni mo fún ní scholarship fún law school. lẹ́yìn àwọn 12 yẹn ìgbà tí mo wà ní minister nígbà mo tún kúrò àwọn ọmọ Kìṣí 3 mo tún fún ní scholarship fún law school again. Kò kan àwọn owó òsìkú ọmọdé owó iṣẹ́ afẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ kan afẹ́ ṣe ilé afẹ́ ṣọ tí mo máa ń ṣe. In fact ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú òfin Islam tó ní owó tí ọwọ́ ọ̀tún bá ṣe ẹ má jẹ́ kọ́wọ́ òsì o. Àwọn supporter mi láwọn tí fans club wọ́n máa ń bá mi jà pé owó òṣèlú ní jẹ́ kámọ́nà owó tẹ̀sìn. Nǹkan túmọ̀ sí ni pé kí n máa ṣe kárí mi pẹ̀lú ohun tí mo but èmi gbogbo ohun tí n bá ṣe fún ọmọlàkejì ìyọ́nú Ọlọ́run mo fẹ́ fi wà ni mo sì máa fi wà. So pé èèyàn ọmọ òṣèlú nǹkan bí kéèyàn sọ pé nítorí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó ń dolówó ń bí wọ́n ń jalè ní kí n wá ní kí n lọ jalè nítorí mo fẹ́ dolówó. n tí ọba ní tí n bá ní rí ṣe lọ́nà ẹ̀tọ́ nǹkan yẹn yà gbélẹ̀ ni. So gbéyàn pé mi ò mọ̀ṣèlú màá sọ fún un pé ọlọ́kànjúà ni ipò téèyàn bá sì ń wá láyé yìí Ọlọ́run nìkan ní gbéyàn dípò. Ilẹ̀ yìí náà la wà tí Lamọ Adésínà kọlọ́mbà àfọ̀rúnkẹ́ tó fi di gọ́vnà kọ̀mọ̀ náwó kọ̀mọ̀ díẹ̀ lówó as at the time tó di gọ́vnà mo lówó jù lọ torí òun ṣiṣẹ́ ìjọba èmi ṣe lọ́yà. Muhammadu Buhari ní 2015 tó di president kò lówó ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ó sọ ọ́nù Quran ti wá pé òun Ọlọ́run ní ọba kúlẹ̀ Allahumma malikal mulku tuti mulka man tashau wa tanzil mulka mimman tashau wa tu'izu man tashau wa tudhillu man tashau biyadikal khairu innaka ala kulli shay'in qadir. Ọlọ́run lọ́ba tí ìfi ní sípò òun ní mú yẹn kúrò nípò òun lọ́ba tí sọ ọ̀sán di òru òun ní sọ ọ̀sán di òun ní sọ òru di ọ̀sán òun ní ọba tí sọ nǹkan dúdú di funfun òun ní sì sọ funfun di kìíní pé àṣẹ rẹ̀ nìkan àṣẹ tọ́lọ́run nìkan lèmi ni mo bá dúró. Ọlọ́run nìkan mo sì ń bẹ̀ pé mo fẹ́ ṣe gọ́vnà mo sì ń sọ fún kó wo àníyàn tí mo ní láti fi tún ìlú ṣe láti fi mú ìgbáyégbádùn gbọ́ àwọn Ọ̀yọ́ state. Mi ò wá ní tẹ̀lé fọ́múlà àwọn oníjìbìtì mi ò ní ṣe yẹn.
ó dàgbé bí ọ̀rọ̀ méjì ló kù kó tó di pa sọ̀rọ̀ federal government àti mo rántí pé ẹ ṣe ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ kan náà láìpẹ́ náà tẹ́ wá sọ pé 2027 yìí o bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti ṣe gómìnà pé ẹ ṣe mọ́ ṣé tọ́jú orílẹ̀ wo ni àbí.
ṣe rí number one ṣíṣe gómìnà mi kì í sì torí pé mi ò níṣẹ́ mi tí mo fẹ́ ṣe mo fẹ́ lọ́nbọ̀rọ̀ mo ní so many things tí mo fẹ́ mójútó gẹ́gẹ́ bí àpèjúwe mo ń gbìyànjú àti dá yunifásitì ilẹ̀ the ICT University of Nigeria ní ìlú Ṣakí mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣe yẹn federal government mo fẹ́ ṣe fún tẹ́lẹ̀ ńgbà mọ́ minister ṣùgbọ́n àwọn kan tí òye wọn ò lọ títí wọ́n block mi wọn ò járí nǹkan náà ṣe débi tí nígbà tá a dé ESCO Federal Executive Council tí mo gbé mẹ́mọ̀ náà lọ Muhammadu Buhari tó jẹ́ president wa náà ní Barrister Shittu, I want to commend you for your hard work on this memo. Only as you can see, this memo is an over-ambitious project. Ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ University ICT ló yẹ ká kà sí over-ambitious project? So ti yé ṣe dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ntẹ́ nìkan mọ̀ nìkan dè mọ́ mọ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Sọ pé mo ti ń gbìyànjú mo ti gba ilẹ̀ bíi 100 acres wọ́n ti fún mi nílẹ̀ ní Ṣakí pẹ̀lú ògbọ́nà ìkànnù àwọn iṣẹ́ tí mo fẹ́ ṣe ni àwọn nǹkan míì náà tún wà tí ò jẹ mọ́ òṣèlú àkókò mọ́jọ́ tí ikú òde bá òǹkálùkù wà ikú death will come when it will come it will not give notice gbogbo ara sì ní expiry date gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn products sì ní expiry date so gbogbo dáadáa tá a bá fẹ́ ṣe kéèyàn gbìyànjú àti ṣe so pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run sísọ tí mo sọ tí mo ń ṣòṣèlú kì í ṣe torí pé mi ò níṣẹ́ lọ ẹ rí i pé ńgbà mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ òṣèlú gan mo ti di lọ́ọ̀yà kí n tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ òṣèlú so àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ló wà tẹ́kun wọn lọ sínú òṣèlú bóyá torí pé wọn ò níṣẹ́ mi lọ́wọ́ tí wọ́n lè ṣe so ti yé.
torí náà 2027 bí o bá ti
pẹ̀lú ògo tí n bá ṣe máa gbà pé ìmọ̀ ọba tọ́lọ̀ fẹ́ kí n ṣe ní òṣèlú náà mo ti ṣe.
kò yẹ ká tún máa padà sórí àwọn èèyàn wa tán ti lọ ṣùgbọ́n ẹ ti sọ̀rọ̀ gómìnà Ajímọ̀bí lẹ́ẹ̀kan ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ wọn.
mi ì dárúkọ ẹ ṣá mi ì dárúkọ.
ẹ nígbà tí wọ́n máa ń ó dàgbà àti ìbọ̀ sórí ètò gbà yẹn nílé iṣẹ́ kan àti bẹ́ẹ̀ pé tá a bá pè yín gbà yẹn ṣùgbọ́n àwa mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ tiẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yóò tẹ̀ dárúkọ wọn gbà yẹn pé àárín ẹ̀yìn àti wọn gbà yẹn ó kò ṣe bákan bó tẹ̀ ṣe pé ẹ̀wà ní ẹgbẹ́ kan ńgbà tí ó kù díẹ̀ kí wọ́n máa parí mo rántí pé àwọn náà ṣe ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ kan tán wá ń bèèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn rí pé ẹ̀yin náà fẹ́ ṣe gómìnà ńgbà yẹn tẹ́tẹ́ sọ pé Adébáyọ̀ Ṣítù mi ò oppose ẹ o tí wọ́n béèrè pé ṣé o fẹ́ kó jẹ gómìnà ó ní àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ pé ó lè ṣe ní kí ló dé pé wọn kò ní kíláàsì kò ní àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tán sọ ńgbà yẹn.
ṣe rí ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ tó ó ti kú ó máa ń dùn mí pé àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ń wáyé nígbà tí ò sí láyé mọ́ ìbá wù mí kó jẹ́ pé ó wà láyé ké ẹ̀yin ń ròyìn kẹ́pẹ́ ẹwà méjèèjì pọ̀ kó sọ kókó àìdá tí mo ṣe fún un tí mo rí láìdá tí mo ṣẹ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tí mo ṣẹ̀ sí olóògbé ni pé èmi àti bàbá tó bí Alhaji Gani Ajímọ̀bí àjọ jẹ́ colleague ní House of Assembly ní 79 n tó máa ń dùn jù ní ọ̀rọ̀ mi nìyẹn lẹ́nu ó gbà pé ọmọ oko ni mí pé báwo ni ṣe máa compete pẹ̀lú òun nínú àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó sì máa ń sọ tá a gbọ́ tó máa ń sọ tí ilé broadcasting houses náà bá pè wá fún interview after interview yẹn wọ́n ló máa ń sọ pé Ọlọ́run ló máa yọ àwọn tó ní kí Ṣítù má jọ ọmọ Ìbàdàn tó bá jọ ọmọ Ìbàdàn ni kò bá yọ àwọn lẹ́nu ntí mo fura sí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ni pé kíláàsì tó ní mi ò ní bóyá ń pa aṣọ wíwọ̀ mo ní nípa ọgbọ́n orí tí a bá sì lọ sí interview ó rí i pé èmi èwòwe tí mo fi máa ń deliver àti ń bá deliver so kò expect kọ́ mo kú bí mi kò lè ní irú class nípa argument lórí ọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú nípa political statements nípa policies programs and so on and so forth. ọ̀rọ̀ agenda tèmi ní fún ní manifesto pé mo fẹ́ sí governance mo ti ní láti ìgbà mo ti wà lọ́dọ̀ Awolowo ni so ti yé mi ò sẹ́ but ó kàn kórìíra kí n kọ́ á jẹ́ pé mi ní wà di gọ́vnà kò nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí.
àbáwọn ní ẹni tán fẹ́ kó di gómìnà.
ó ní náà ni ó dẹ̀ rí pé ẹnìyẹn pé ó lè má lè beat mi tá a bá ń láti compete ìyẹn ló ṣe sún débi tó fi lọ bribe òṣì ọ̀mọ̀lẹ̀ ní 2019 pé kàn disqualify mi pé kí n má lè rí lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí mo ti san 20 million láti fi gba fọ́ọ̀mù láti kíní wọ́n lu fún níyẹn lówó wọ́n dẹ̀ disqualify kí ni wọ́n disqualify mi fún wọ́n nítorí pé mi ò ṣe national service òun ni ó sì ṣe national service nígbà tó kú ní òyìnbó tó dé náà kò ṣe national service wọ́n dẹ̀ fóun ní tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì senate tèmi fún gọ́vnà wọ́n disqualify mi for the same reason so àbòsí yẹn ó clear gan but nígbà tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo lọ pe ẹjọ́ wọ́n tún lọ bribe lọ́ọ̀yà tí mo gbà senior advocate kan
lọ́ọ̀yà tẹ́yìn gbà gẹ́gẹ́
mo fọlọ́ ń bora wọ́n tún bribe òun náà tó fi lọ withdraw kéèsì kóun court láì gbàṣẹ lọ́dọ̀ èmi tí mo gbà ní lọ́ọ̀yà senior advocate
ṣé bó ṣe lù ilé tó bẹ́ẹ̀
gbọ́ lọ́dọ̀ àwọn kan ó sì gbogbo yẹn mo wá lọ tún wọ́nà pé bóyá kí n tún pe ẹjọ́ mi mo wá wò pé by that time ṣé Makinde ti wọlé tí n bá tiẹ̀ wá win ní court ò ní gbé victory ṣe Makinde kò ní transfer fún sí ìsà ìṣẹ́gbẹ́ kan náà n tí mo fi gbà fọlọ́ nìyẹn pé Ọlọ́run ó tún ẹjọ́ dá.
ṣùgbọ́n ẹgbẹ́ ṣe ń sọ ìyá dàbí pé àwọn tá a ṣe fún yín gbà
ó burú gan kò ṣe ní dùn yàn ṣé èèyàn lè ṣàìrò àdá fún yín bẹ́ẹ̀ fún kẹ́ mọ̀ pàtẹ́wọ́ fún.
ó dà ẹ já lọ sí ìjọba lédè Nàìjíríà bó ṣe ń lọ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ APC nìyí.
pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run.
ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀yin náà ń gbọ́ kátàwọn èèyàn sọ nígboro torí grassroots politician nìyí. Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ó ti lọ ọdún méjì báyìí lórí àpèrè báyìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ààrẹ tẹ́yìn náà bá wo ọdún méjì tó lọ yìí ó kọ ọdún méjì renewed hope tán sọ ṣáàṣì lè máa tún nírètí ọ̀hún náà.
Ọlọ́run ó bá tún Nàìjíríà tó.
Àmín.
Ọlọ́run bá tún Nàìjíríà tó.
Àmín.
Ọlọ́run tún bá tún Nàìjíríà tó.
Àmín.
ṣe rí àsìkò tí Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu déjọba ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan ló ti bàjẹ́ gan tó bàjẹ́ gan pàápàá jùlọ bí ìgbà téèyàn bá tílé bá wà tó bá dàgbò ẹni tí ó bá tún bẹ tí ó bá gbé bẹ kí ni ó láti ṣe ó láti ṣe ètò ìdí ẹni kó tiẹ̀ ti ṣe àtúpalẹ̀ eléyẹn kí foundation míì lè strong kí gbogbo òpó tí ó gbélé dúró kó lè strong ní gbogbo àwọn tó bá ń gbé ilé yẹn pẹ̀lú ìnira ni wọ́n fi máa gbé bẹ́ẹ̀ ní àsìkò náà àròyé mélòó la fẹ́ sọ fún ẹni tí bí ń pa ẹni tó fẹ́ gbélé ẹni tí ò rí lè gbé òun dẹ̀ ní ohun tó yẹ ní káwọn ó lè foundation a stronger foundation tí ó fi jẹ́ pé edifice tá a bá gbélé kò tún ní di pé bọ́ọ̀ bá di ọjọ́ iwájú ilé ò tún máa bí wò iṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe nìyẹn but kì í ṣe iṣẹ́ tí àwọn èèyàn lè máa pàtẹ́wọ́ fún sí nítorí ibi tó ń rí dé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ò lè rí débẹ̀ ẹ̀wọ̀n Yorùbá sì ní ẹni tí ọba níwọ̀ yẹ̀wò kò mọ ohun tá a ṣe ń bẹ̀ so ọ̀rọ̀ wa Nàìjíríà sùúrù gidigidi ló gbà tẹ́ ẹ bá dẹ̀ wò èrè iṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe àwọn state governors ló ń jàǹfààní ẹ̀ nísìn tí ò bá jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣé ẹnìkan lè rí 63 billion tí ó waste lórí pé òun fẹ́ renovate ilé tí ó wò.
ẹ ṣe sọ pé waste náà ni ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ sẹ́yìn.
It is a complete waste. It's not the priority to bring about life more abundant for the people of the state. It is kì í ṣe pé lẹ́yìn wo ẹ fẹ́ renovate ẹ̀ pé ẹ fẹ́ tún lékún ẹ tún kún bóyá ẹ extend àwọn ibì kan èèyàn mélòó ni ọmọ gbé bẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣebí gómìnà àti ìyàwó àti ọmọ ẹnìkan náà ni ọmọ gbé bẹ̀ máa jẹ́ pé wọ́n fi bẹ̀ ṣe hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì owó kíní ọmọ ti bẹ̀ wọlé tẹ́ ẹ bá ná gbowó yẹn síbẹ̀ ẹ compare kẹ́ ẹ wá lo owó yẹn láti fi fún àwọn èèyàn níṣẹ́ ẹ compare kó jẹ́ pé owó yẹn if you are 10,000 bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ra 10,000 tractors kò tí ì pọ̀jù fún Ọ̀yọ́ state. We have 33 local government areas. Ẹ pín tractor yìí káwọn èèyàn ó ní àǹfààní pé wọ́n lè courageously lọ sóko àti nígbà ẹ̀rùn àti nígbà òjò. Àwọn tí ò rí owó kàwé irú ṣé màá di governor màá fẹ́ ṣe free education up to university level yín wà rí owó kan wé sí fún pé ilé ara mi àǹfààní tara mi ìgbádùn tara mi nìkan. Èèlò gan lẹ fẹ́ fún.
Gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé lóòótọ́ tún padà sórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni ó náà níbi ju ọdún méjì náà lọ.
Ọdún méjì yìí sọ abala àkàìmù nítorí ìgbádùn ọdún méjì.
ìkíṣọ́ ńlá wà ń bẹ̀.
Ṣé ta ló ránṣẹ́? Ṣé àwọn gómìnà tí ó ṣe èdè ni wọ́n ránṣẹ́ pé kọ́ bá wọn tún ilé yẹn ṣe? The interest of the governor should be the least priority.
Ọ̀rọ̀ Tinubu là ń sọ náà.
Now, so n tí mò ń sọ ni wípé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àtúnṣe ó ti ń wáyé, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ owó ló sì ti ń wáyé tí wọ́n ti ń pín fáwọn state. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa tá a bá ń blame Tinubu a máa blame ẹ̀ bí ìgbọ́ jẹ́ pé federal government kan la ní Nàìjíríà. Federal government ẹnìkan kọ́ la ní Nàìjíríà. A ní federal government, a ní àwọn states, a ní local government. Nínú owó yìí àti state in the state ti local government àwọn governor náà ló tún pamọ́ sápò ara wọn tó fi di double jeopardy faraàlú. Owó tó bá yẹ kó lọ local government ẹ pín sí local ẹ jẹ́ kó dé ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn local government kán rí mu fi ṣe ìlú èyí tó bá jẹ́ ti state kí state náà ná dáadáa wọ́n wo priority kí ló affect life àwọn èèyàn.
So despite the landmark judgment given by the Supreme Court on financial autonomy.
Owó débẹ̀ wọ́n lọ ń bẹ àwọn tá a gbọ́ nípa àwọn governors wọ́n lọ ń bẹ Tinubu pa àwọn ti fi owó àwọn ti yáwó táwọn ti fi owó sí local government sí guarantee gbèsè táwọn jẹ káàkiri kó fáwọn time. So gbogbo yẹn kò bala ká ìmú lójú tèmi. Priority governor is just one individual. Ká assume pé irú governor wa ká assume kò bímọ mẹ́wàá mo mọ̀ pé kò bímọ tó bẹ́ẹ̀ òun àti ìyàwó àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ ṣe bí wọ́n bá ń gbé hotel the most expensive hotel gan fún period yẹn wọn ò lè ná 1% 63 million láàrin ọdún mẹ́jọ wọn ò lè ná.
Okay, I want us to talk about the other political gladiators who have been very outspoken and vocal during this administration, who have criticized vehemently the governance of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Let me start with something that the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party said recently. I'm talking about Adewale Adebayo. He said that Tinubu has A1 in politics. A1 in politics, but F9 in governance.
That is his warped perception. Warped perception. For somebody who has been governor for 8 years, for somebody who, despite the manipulations of the then president, he survived all of this manipulation.
Which president?
Obasanjo.
Okay, who's saying Obasanjo?
You know, and you are saying he doesn't know government. Oh, there is a government, DBT, Gbogbo, Lagos State, the most sophisticated state in Nigeria. Tí wọ́n fi gbà tiẹ̀. Recall, Momana one thing, and that was one of the reasons why I supported him. Time was when the Bar Beach was being threatened by the Atlantic Ocean, Leko. Tebanati ni Aye Abdulkarim Adisa when he was Minister of Works. It would be 3 billion naira nona that will cool nyani. That will prevent the soil, ocean soil. Ibitila akai wode in governance. Mbane ni won chenya. Bola Ahmed Tinubu de make Victoria Island that is survive. That Barbie, which was being threatened at that time, today has become stabilized. From that sea, the Barbie Sea has evolved or emerged a new city now, a co-Atlantic city. Until Tony F9 governance, òun ṣe ò jẹ́ kí Victoria Island kó wà swallowed up. So, a lot of politicians, particularly people who have not had acceptability by the people, they must make fantastic statements to make people look their direction. So for me, I sympathize with them. I just ignore them.
Okay, now, obviously, we have seen that. I guess that's why you actually made that assertion. Obviously, the opposition parties in Nigeria are not getting it right. From PDP to Labour Party, what have we? None of them has been able to put their houses in order. And we've seen how they have been struggling. And then, again, we've seen people now dumping some of these parties, particularly the People's Democratic Party. We're talking about political functionaries, governors, just like it happened in legislators.
In Akwa Ibom.
And in Delta State too. Delta
yes.
has always been PDP since 1999. And so I guess that's what people are saying. This man is a political genius. And he knows how to, and again, people are accusing him of wanting to make Nigeria.
How is he the one forcing people to come and join APC? I mean, there are some of these statements which look to me, reckless. I don't want to use the word stupid. Because if you are making a statement, there must be a scintilla of evidence to back up what you are making. How can somebody be in a party, for instance, we cannot have an ordinary national secretary, which cannot have a stable national secretary? PDP, if you look at PDP, over the years, for 16 years, they were known for corruption. Corruption would destroy them. Otherwise, how can somebody totally teach any national level for 16 years? How can they get, driven out of power? How can they get defeated? She experienced one in here, exposure, but they were easily, defeated by APC. And remember that even many of their people, were disgruntled about what was happening with them, but they left them. Even though some went back. But at least, if I have been somewhere, I ought to have become a landlord. People ought to have seen things for which they will continue to praise me and want to associate with me for life. So if people are leaving, then there must be something wrong internally within them. It's a pity. And again, everybody wants to join the winning team.
Okay, so that's the situation now.
That's what I can see. Because nobody's being forced to come into APC. But with this man there, I want strides, don't she? Encourage them when you like to join the group.
All right, well, it looks like it is very evident to most of the political bigwigs in the opposition parties that it may be very difficult to stage Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. And so they have resolved to come up with
because of his performance.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
What other thing do they attract him?
To come up with the idea of what they are calling coalition.
Okay.
Okay, initially, Obi was there in the forefront, Atiku Abubakar, El-Rufai, a former member of the APC, a panel member of the APC, who at some point when people felt that he was actually really with Tinubu. We don't know what happened.
Well, it's one should be careful about making suggestions which may not be true. But I feel pained personally about El-Rufai because I knew his contributions to the Bola Ahmed Tinubu campaign, which I was also deeply involved in. I knew, and so where things went wrong, I guess, is at the point of a supposed security report on him by the National Security Advisor, who perhaps people suspect is seeing Nasiru El-Rufai as a rival for a future position. These are perceptions anyway. But, I have always said, look, I believe that when Tinubu nominated this man for a ministerial position, when the National Security, when the National Assembly rejected him, the party ought to have intervened.
Okay.
Because we are not aware that he's been a murderer. We are not aware of any serious, crimes that he has committed against the party. So for him to have been rejected by the National Assembly and for the party to just have kept quiet like that, I think it was.
So do you think? Do you see his departure from the APC as a loss?
Of course, it's a loss, human loss. Of course, yes. I mean, everybody who leaves our party is -1.
Okay.
But I look at it from the point of view of his contribution, which I saw. I'm not close to him. I don't even have his phone number. I haven't met him in the last 3 years.
Okay.
The last time I met him was at the mosque, on the Friday mosque.
Okay.
And I don't know his house. I don't have his phone number. But if I worked for the party, if the party just threw me away like that, I would not be a happy person.
All right, so now El-Rufai, Rotimi Amechi, former governor of Rivers State, and Atiku Abubakar, yes, they're flying kites now, talking about
the good thing,
party.
The good thing, I don't get disturbed
right.
about their coalition. I don't get disturbed. I don't get irritated.
Okay.
Because I know that the number of people coming from other parties into APC are in multiples of those who have left.
Those who have left.
So, I mean, politics is an all-comers game.
Well, you're not a member of the PDP.
Can be.
Of course, I know. I actually said that because my next question is about the PDP too. And Atiku Abubakar, coming up with this in the videos now, to form a new political party, All Democratic Alliance, ADA, though we heard that there is another ADA, Advanced Democratic Alliance, INEC has said there is another ADA. Does it mean that Atiku might be saying his byes to the People's Democratic Party?
Might be saying bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, anything is possible. Everything is possible. Atiku has been old in this game. Remember, he was even at the time in APC.
He was.
So when he's going, like I said, politics is an all-comers game. So it's a game. You know what a game is.
So you are not perturbed. You are
at all.
What about Peter Obi? Wherever he goes, it looks like he has a lot of.
Peter Obi's
a robust fan base.
The
young Nigerians love him.
The fan base of Peter Obi is about 80% Igbo. You must understand.
Are you sure about that? Peter Obi won Tinubu in the presidential election.
Exactly.
In Lagos.
I said 80%. I said 80%.
Okay.
A lot of things went wrong in Lagos. You see, because the truth must be said.
All right.
The Igbo population in Lagos.
Okay.
Again, I think the Christian population also supported Peter Obi.
Okay.
Particularly because of the cry at that time about so-called Muslim ticket.
Okay.
Mm.
All right, so let me just wrap it up. Let's try and wrap it up. There have also been pundits and observers who have said the 2027 election may not even be between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and this coalition or the PDP, but it's going to be between the APC and Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians.
APC people are also Nigerians.
But when you look at the number of people who are members of political parties,
yes.
We have more people.
You see,
outside.
In all honesty, when the campaigns come, you'll be surprised, pleasantly surprised, at the wonderful things that Tinubu has done within the last 2 years.
Well, Nigerians don't see that.
Where they would be reminded at the appropriate time. They will be reminded. The ordinary Nigerian student today is a happier Nigerian. A lot of women who are being supported by Tinubu's wives' efforts here and there are appreciative. A lot of minorities who could have ever imagined that a Southern Kaduna person would today be the chief of defense staff. It has never happened. All of these people would certainly Then the areas where the big roads, the Lagos, Calabar, coastal, people who have been positively impacted, and then the Lagos, the Badagry, Sokoto Expressway. I mean, a lot of people who are positively impacted, I would certainly think twice before voting against Tinubu. And there are so many other issues. I'm sure by the time campaign starts, you will start hearing a lot of these details.
Before we wrap it up, one other name that we've had when we talk about 2027 is that of the current governor of OYO State, Seyi Makinde. We've also seen his posters in some parts of northern Nigeria.
Well, there are a lot of hungry people who would, take measures to make money from him.
Are you saying Makinde himself is not interested?
Well, I don't know. He might be interested, but I mean, who is Makinde for the presidency of Nigeria?
Tinubu was governor for 2 years and then later became
Tinubu
president.
was more than a president. You would recall, you will agree with me. Look, he had been president he had been governor more than 16 years ago. And consistently, he had dictated who became governor in Lagos.
Are you saying Makinde is not qualified?
Well, let's wait and see. Maybe he would try to prove his mettle.
Some people are saying he's just testing the waters.
Well, it's up to him. He can't go on ego trip. It's up to
The way
him.
you sound, you don't...
No, I don't take him serious. I don't take him serious. We know how he started now. We know how he started. So...
Well, I think we just have to wrap it up here, but just before we go, I would just want you to say a few things to Nigerians. You've talked about, like I did say, it's difficult to actually convince an ordinary Nigerian that this administration is working. Because when you look at the level of unemployment, when you look at hunger out there.
Look, I am not alien
All right.
to most of these things you are talking about. But I'm saying the whole thing is work in progress. And that the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is taking sincere efforts on a very large scale to ameliorate our situation. And I'm very sure by the time campaigns come, a lot of people will not see a lot of things now. The only thing how would the ordinary, Oyo State person, get convinced that Tinubu has done evil when you are able to prove the billions of naira which is coming into the coffers from the federal government to the Oyo State government, which have been misapplied on issues. I have used every opportunity to remind people that, look, it is not only the federal government that is the government that we have in Nigeria. We also have state government who are sharing monies every month. And these are not just small monies, billions. So if there's hunger in Oyo State, we must ask the governor, why is there hunger in Oyo State? Why is he misapplying? Where is he keeping all this money? The money coming to the state government, the money going to the local government. Where is he keeping them? These are monies not sent to Oyo State for safekeeping, but for governments to utilize in bringing about eradication of poverty, eradication of unemployment, and all kinds of mishappenings.
Well, I want to say a very big thank you to you, Barrister Debayo SHITTU, former Minister of Communications and Digital Economy during the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. Of course, currently is the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman Governing Council of Dave Umai Federal University of Health Sciences in Ebonyi State. We appreciate you sincerely as a grassroots politician, and of course, it still means business about contesting for the position of governor of Oyo State. Thank you very much.
It's my very big pleasure.
On the cross from the Voice of the Light studios. We appreciate everyone who has worked with me on this particular project. Thank you very much to Abel Oyedele behind the camera and the gadget, and of course, Rosemary Choma, I appreciate you, and to the bosses out there, to Ayaba Timitokwe, I appreciate you, and to the executive director, Babatunde Bangui. Thank you very much. My name is Joshua Adigbite. Until next time, we'll come your way. Have a nice day.